welcome aboard. It's good you could join us. We're having a party, and everybody is here. Before I start introducing you around, who are you and what do you do? I mean, are you an insurance salesman or stockbroker, office manager, housewife maybe? Well, that's not very important. You're bound to find someone here you got something in common with. You know, someone you can talk to. And if you don't, well, there's always little old me. What? How long have I been here? Gee, I forgot. I've been having such a good time. For so long, I haven't even looked at the calendar. You know, one thing you'll notice after you've been here a little while, everything is sort of slow and easy. You kind of solve all your problems, all the pain and care of the outside world just sort of slither away like magic. Now, I'll tell you something. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret on how we do this. Now, it isn't easy. It takes time. Sometimes years and years. But we have worked together to construct a world of our own. Now, there are some people, wet blankets, spoil sports, who tell us it's an artificial world. Well, so what? It's real enough for us, isn't it? Am I wrong? Right. But you know, I'm talking too much.
non-stop. Music, non-stop.
Chaos never died. Primordial, uncarved block, sole, worshipful monster, inert and spontaneous, more ultraviolet than any mythology, like the shadows before Babylon. The original, undifferentiated oneness of being still radiates serene as the black penance of assassins, random and perpetually intoxicated. Chaos comes before all principles of order and entropy. It's neither a god nor a maggot. Its idiotic desires encompass and define every possible choreography, all meaningless ethers and phlogistons. Its masks are crystallizations of its own facelessness, like clouds. Everything in nature is perfectly real, including consciousness. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. Not only have the chains of the law been broken, they never existed. Demons never guarded the stars. The empire never got started. Eros never grew a beard. No, listen, what happened was this. They lied to you, sold you ideas of good and evil, gave you distrust of your body and shame for your prophethood of chaos, invented words of disgust for your molecular love, mesmerized you with inattention, bored you with civilization and all its usurious emotions. There is no becoming, no revolution, no struggle, no path. Already, you're the monarch of your own skin. Your inviolable freedom waits to be completed only by the love of other monarchs. A politics of dream, urgent as the blueness of sky. To shed all the illusory rites and hesitations of history demands the economy of some legendary Stone Age. Shamans, not priests, bards, not lords, hunters, not police, gatherers of Paleolithic laziness, gentle as blood, going naked for a sign or painted as birds, poised on the wave of explicit presence, the clockless now ever. Agents of chaos cast burning glances at anything or anyone capable of bearing witness to their condition, their fever of lux et voluptas. I am awake only in what I love and desire to the point of terror. Everything else is just shrouded furniture, quotidian anesthesia, shit for brains, sub-reptilian ennui of totalitarian regimes, banal censorship, and useless pain. Avatars of chaos act as spies, saboteurs, criminals of amour fou, neither selfless nor selfish, accessible as children, mannered as barbarians, chafed with obsessions, unemployed, sensually deranged, wolf angels, mirrors for contemplation, eyes like flowers, pirates of all signs and meanings. Here we are, crawling the cracks between walls of church, state, school, and factory, all the paranoid monoliths. Cut off from the tribe by feral nostalgia, we tunnel after lost words, imaginary bombs. The last possible deed is that which defines perception itself, an invisible golden cord that connects us, illegal dancing in the courthouse corridors. If I were to kiss you here, they'd call it an act of terrorism. So let's take our pistols to bed and wake up the city at midnight like drunken bandits celebrating with a fusillade the message of the taste of chaos.
And I bring you fire. I'll take you to burn. Fire. I'll take you to learn. I'll see you burn. You fought hard and you saved and earned, but all of it's gone to burn. You know you've really been so blind. Now's your time, burn your mind. You fall apart, too far behind. Oh no, oh no, you're gonna burn. Fire to destroy all you've done. Fire to end all you've become. I'll feel you burn. You've been living like a little girl in the middle of your little world. And you mind your time, and you know you've really been so blind. Now's your time, burn your mind. You've fallen far too far behind. Fire, I'll take you to burn. Fire, I'll take you to learn. You're gonna burn. You're gonna burn. You're gonna burn, 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 burn,
Gudrun, his young cousin who lived nearby, met him there, and they greeted each other affectionately. They fell into conversation, for both were intelligent and fluent talkers.
I've had many dreams this winter, and 4 of them in particular have disturbed me greatly. No one has understood them to my satisfaction. But I'm not just asking for a pleasing interpretation.
Tell me your dreams. It may be I can make something of them.
I dreamt I was standing outside near a stream. I was wearing a headdress on my head, but I felt that it didn't become me, so I was anxious to change it. A lot of people warned me not to, but I paid no attention to them, and tore the headdress off my head and threw it into the stream. And that was the end of that dream.
Saw blood from both pieces. This means your third husband will die. After his death, you will see the flaws in your marriage more clearly.
He took himself seriously. Motel rooms had lost their punch for him. He opened all his bags. There were 2, and inside those 2 there were 2 more. It's not an easy situation. But there was something like abandon in the air. There was something like the feeling of the idea of silk scarves in the air. There was a kind of madness to it, the kind we read about in magazines. One of the bags contained a bottle of liquor, a sure sign of thoughtfulness about who one might have been. He poured himself a small drink in a fluted plastic glass sans ice. He thought to himself, if I were from the big town, I would be calm and debonair. The big town doesn't send its riffraff out. He sat on the bed, both feet on the floor. He studied the ashtray and tried to rule out preference, preferring over not preferring. But he preferred gravity over what other state, preferring in that case earth, the earth as they say, preferring some state over non-state. Now he grips himself with determination, even knowing that it causes sadness. He is determined to be what? He is determined to be serious. He had determined once to be serious. Later he knew that he had made a mistake, but too late he had arrived, and there were rooms, and all rooms were not the same. Some better than others, he thought. A better view, a better layout, better shower, softer bed, not so far from noise, more like home, etc., etc., very abstract. He lifted the telephone from its cradle. His determination got stronger, if no clearer, even as he fainted in its force. Were it not for our momentum, the inertia of our actions, the constant inspiration of our habits, we could not continue. The will is almost nothing, he thought to himself. At the sound of the first ring, he hung up. He pushed down the button and listened to the silence of the object in his hand, and then he hung up. Very dramatic. The phone rang immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He brings this cloud of conditions with him. He is at the center of a ball of hot stuff that we haven't put our minds to yet. And sitting on the bed in the motel room is no different. Somewhere in another room in range, somebody got it and phoned him. It happens all the time. Really. A kind of restlessness in that range. He sat and thought about obedience. He had resolved that of the two kinds, the kind that takes every message of order, rule, law as error, that everybody who passes along these messages, that loathes the buildings, that contradicts the inner voice, that resists, in short, was his, and that the other kind, how could it be? He wasn't happy with the world. He worked with the forwardness and the backwardness. He worked with what things are ahead of us and with what things are behind us. I guess the other kind would be to work with things that are alongside, the attachments. Obedience was impossible for him. At the same time, he was cooperative and indeed solicitous. No one in the world would have mistaken him for a real person. Obedience, etc. The other kind works with the things that are of the alongside us, the attachments. At the same time, he was cooperative. The numbers on the telephone, the parts of the book, the notes of the scale, they are the same, are they not? They come from the sameness of the idea of the outsideness, not the alongside the outsideness, the differentness. It was a problem being cooperative and at the same time refusing obedience and carrying the load of the idea of differentness.